teachers. It now gives me great pleasure to ask our Taoiseach, Enda to address you. Thank you, Taoiseach.
Gura mahagif agus fáiltear of gachtain and seo, sa Thránóna. Let me say I'm pleased to be here with the Taoiseach and Minister Francis in respect of the launch of Better Outcomes and Brighter Futures. Clearly, making sure that the state serves and protects our children, and our young children in particular, is a top priority for the government. And why not? As Jim has pointed out, the appointment of Minister Fitzgerald as the first senior cabinet minister since the foundation of the state dealing directly with children was not just an easy business to conclude, because it was necessary to extract constitutionally from so many different departments bits and pieces of related activities that departments were expected to carry out in regard to children, and very little coordination between them, which took quite a deal of activity to get right in the beginning. But that has come right. You've got your department in place and running very effectively, and we have made quite a deal of progress in the 3 years since that appointment. We held the referendum on children's rights to strengthen the rights and the protection of children in our constitution, Bunracht na Héireann. The new Child and Family Agency is in place, and this is one of the key foundation issues so that you can ensure that there's provision of an effective service that is more responsive to the needs of our people and particularly our children. The bill to place Children First guidelines on a statutory basis has just been published after a great deal of activity, and developing a youth-focused youth justice policy, ending the unacceptable practice of detaining children in adult facilities. Clearly a cause of concern to those who understand that particular problem. Now, in addition to that, and in line with the programme for government, we have protected the preschool year. We take steps to improve the quality and the staff qualification standards in early years and in childcare services. And there was an allocation, despite economic stringency, of the €30 million area-based childhood programme. And that childhood programme is designed to improve outcomes for children through early intervention and parenting support programmes. So these reforms, referred to by both Taoiseach and by Minister Francis, these have in many instances been implemented and introduced as part of a determined effort by government to respond to this country's shameful legacy of past failings in the area of child protection. And in the past, nobody listened. Our laws did not do enough to protect vulnerable children. Our services were not adequate and could not respond. And our approach was neither integrated nor comprehensive, and as a consequence, struggled greatly to improve the outcomes of children. So for too long, the society to which we belong turned a blind eye to abuse, to neglect, and as a consequence, children suffered. And for too long, our state failed in its moral duty to protect those suffering and to respond when alerted that suffering was taking place. As far as we're concerned, Taoiseach and I, on behalf of the government, we want to right this legacy, and we want to show that we can be comprehensive and determined to put it right. Nonetheless, we cannot be in any way complacent. We know that the challenges have not gone away. There are demand pressures, there are service pressures, and sadly, neglect and child abuse do not go away. But we are determined to change this legacy. We've led to this point through reform. We are enhancing our laws. We are improving our services. We are putting children first. And as Thomas has pointed out, I'd like to think that we can create the platform for being recognised as one of the best countries in the world in which to raise a family. How do you build a sense of community? Was the question from the Chinese premier when he came here a few years ago. A leader of a country of 1.4 billion people. And the reason that we are the people we are is that despite all the challenges, when we harness what it is that we do best, the power of community comes to the fore. That was evident indeed in many ways during the gathering last year. People came from countries all over the world to Ireland here. And they find, if they have any connection with us at all, there's a sense of completeness or sense of fulfillment, a sense of rounding out what it is to be Irish and associated with that. So the framework that you've set out here, Francis, sets out how we can achieve better outcomes and better futures for all the children, for their peoples and their families. I actually find in a world where the frontiers are changing every week, that it's so important that childhood be childhood. I was in a halting site recently talking to a father and mother of a sizable family, and all the children gathered into a small room. And as I looked at them, I realized that they were the same as all other children. The faces of brightness and of innocence and of willing to learn and to absorb. And at that stage, all children are the same, starting out on the adventure of life. It is when they pass through the crossroads that things can make their outcomes very different. And that's where better outcomes and brighter futures actually comes in. It's not a task for one minister. It cannot be. It falls to all of us. We've got a responsibility as citizens of the country to deal with this. It's all of government and all of society. And I'm glad to see that you've connected this, Jim, with 5 different departments sponsoring 5 different areas. And whether it be the obesity problem, the activity problem, the healthy issue, the education, the social justice, the comfort of security, all of these things are important. So it has to be all-encompassing, because all policy areas, all of them, have a direct or an indirect effect on children's lives and on the lives of those around them. And the purpose of this framework is to coordinate that policy across government to achieve better outcomes for children. The document is great. Better outcomes, brighter futures. It makes for brilliant reading. The principles of the United Nations Convention, and put that into an Irish context, but make it happen. That's why it's important that there be a follow-through here, where there's responsibility, monitoring, and all of that. So that's why the government have set up the capacity for interagency collaboration here. Sit in a kitchen, talk to the parents or parent or whatever it might be about the children. How are they? How is their well-being? What's their interaction, their engagement? How are they proceeding on their journey through life? What start and what boost are we giving them to do that? So this better outcomes and brighter futures connects infrastructure, if you like. It will guarantee standards, and it make the best possible use of your money, public money, in the service of the state, of its children, and of its families. It will do that through improving those supports for parents, focusing on earlier intervention and prevention, fostering a culture that listens and that involves children and young people, will ensure better quality services. It will strengthen the transition between child and adult services, and it will enhance cross-government and interagency collaboration and coordination. So let me say, in conclusion, Taoiseach and I came down here to support the Minister and meet yourselves as a visible, symbolic gesture of solidarity in this, the most important cause we have, that of rearing our children and giving them an opportunity to live a life. So we're moving from a position of firefighting and addressing the legacy, the substantial legacy of past failings, to one of focusing on improving outcomes for all our children and to building this country's future. So the framework provides a very exciting roadmap for government and for all who work with children and young people. And what better cue is that than to give a listen to Ella and to Anthony, the two young people who are going to tell us how it should be and how it has to be. These are the most important bearers of the future on their backs, and we're now going to listen to the two of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Taoiseach, and for recognising the importance of this document and the focus that needs to be on implementation and cross-government and interagency. That absolutely is the message of this document. I'm delighted now, as